My name is Shana, and I'm your host for tonight. And tonight we have.
Kia Nicole, your co-host for tonight.
Are we sipping on anything?
We are. I'm sipping on a cocktail with Henny.
Very nice. You love Henny, Loki, because you always do a Henny drink.
No, only cocktails. I don't like it by itself, but it makes a
Are
bomb.
we matching hats?
I don't know. It's just black.
I
I
know.
guess.
They look the same. That's crazy.
This was my black one from Walmart way back, years back.
I don't remember about mine from, but hell.
Mm-hmm.
This is Taylor Port, and I had to pour me a little bit because, babe.
Oh, it's going to have you on the floor. Yeah, it's
Thank you.
strong. It's strong.
I said, I'll pour a little bit. But all right, let's go ahead and start off. Happy spring. I don't even know the actual day when spring started, but I just know we're in spring when allergies start acting
Hold
up.
on, I got you. When? Oh, shit.
Not the Google. I'm like, I know when my allergies start acting up, that's spring.
When did spring start in 2025? It's a Thursday, March 20th. And it ends June 20th.
Oh, so it's been spring.
It's been spring.
Oh, well, okay.
I think in our heads, we be thinking like April 1st is spring.
April was, right. I'm like, April's spring to me.
It's been spring. I think it changes though every year.
Every year?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, happy spring. The spring has sprung. I thought spring was April. I'm not going to hold you.
Don't take another sip of that, Taylor.
No.
Put Tay down. That girl said the spring has sprung.
Spring has sprung. All right. So we're going to hop into a few spring topics. Hopefully I could get through this because Taylor is on my side tonight.
Just sip slow.
I didn't pour much. I poured not even half a glass.
Yeah, but with her, you gotta act like it's liquor, cause yeah.
Bed over there. Okay. All right, y'all. I'm sorry, I'm cutting up real bad. Speaking of spring, what's something you're hoping to renew or start fresh for this spring?
For me, a few things.
Okay.
Everything, basically just to increase, my lifestyle and better quality of life, So for me, journaling's at the top of the list because I keep saying this and I'm still not doing it. Start to renew, I would say journaling was one thing I would renew. More self-care days, of course. I want to challenge myself to read at least one new book a month.
Okay.
We'll see how that goes. Audio, of course, so it's easier to get through them, but we'll see. I also want to implement a better nighttime and morning routine. I've said this. So just doing things that I can do the night before that will help me to kind of kickstart my day the next day, and kill time. So that's that. And then just better eating habits. For me, particularly sweets. I'm used to eating sweets maybe after every meal because in my head, after you eat, you deserve dessert. And so I know somebody feel me. So I've been trying to work with myself with instead of every day or every meal, like every 2-3 days. Like that's big for me, so.
Lanny will tell you about yourself, but I'm gonna stop.
I know she gonna send bit back. I know that's her favorite thing to say.
She has learned that word. Every time I go to eat, she's like, "Mom, that's giving bit back." I'm like, "Wait a minute." I'm like, I could eat, but now she's learned the word. She's like, "That's bit
she's
back."
Overusing it, huh? Yeah.
Oh my god!
I know.
That's not what that's for. I'm like,
everything bit back.
I'm like, you small back because you don't eat. I told her, I'm like, you small back. She's like, okay, I guess. I'm like, yeah, you small back because you call me big bag. I'm like, where you get that word from? Like, how you know the meaning? She overused that word so bad. Kids. Yeah. They're gonna tell you about yourself before anybody else. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so something I'm hoping to renew. One, content. I feel like when it comes to content, you can kind of branch off based on the seasons. I feel like you give something different. Like around Christmas time, you mostly give Christmas content. Around I guess you could say Easter time, that's when they come in with all like, the pastels and like just kind of content focusing on the season. So I feel like taking a deep breath and just kind of resetting is something I want to do. I'm also having more patience. I know I said this about every year, but it takes It takes so much
It's an
work.
ongoing thing. Yeah.
It's an ongoing thing. So I'm like, it takes so much work for you to sit here and really be patient with everyday life. Like life happens. So it's like there's some days you're gonna be patient and then there's some days you're just gonna be really impatient. So I feel like as spring come in, I have to be patient because one, allergies don't play no games with me. So it's like I have to, it's okay. I gotta take a Zyrtec or two every day for a couple weeks. So
damn,
that's something I got to be mindful of. My allergies are going to change. Maybe my attitude's going to change because now, I'm more likely to be congested, and I'm not looking forward to it. So we're having to deal with like the changes of health when it comes to spring. So that's something I got to be patient with. Understand that it's just going to be a moment, a season, and it's going to pass. And then also to savings.
Yeah.
Your girl love to spend money. I do love to spend money, and I feel like who don't? So I just feel like whenever you get, because this is already like technically the first quarter of the year that ended like in March, but like you're starting the second quarter. So I feel like you should be attaining or reaching some of the goals that you've already set. And I feel like that's something I always want to circle back to. Like, yes, you can spend money, but within a certain extent. Spending money just got to make sense. Like, if it ain't your bills, you don't have to spend it just because you got it kind of thing. So I feel like resetting and be like, all right, for the next second quarter of the year, how are we going to do with our finances? So that's something that I feel like I want to work on for the spring. So those are my three.
That's a big one.
Yeah. So we like to party a little bit, just a little bit.
Now we like to party.
We like to party, but not that type of party, okay? So,
on occasion, yeah.
On occasionally, we like to pop out a little piece and cut, just not too much. All right. So with that being said, if you were to throw a welcome party, right? A welcome spring party, what would the vibes be? What would the playlist be? Like, what would be things that are featured there? Like when it comes to food, what would be included in your venue?
Okay, so my welcome spring party, of course, we're gonna show up in pastel colors and or bright spring colors. Either or.
That kills me. I wrote everything pastel. That's crazy.
Yeah, so because that's what spring gives, Right. So we're gonna show up in like the little Easter colors or whatever.
Okay.
I can't do the heat, so I know a little outside venue would eat, but me and heat don't mix. So we're gonna take it inside. We're gonna get a nice little inside venue with some AC. Thank you. I don't got time to be dripping in sweat. It's going to be a tea party, so that makes sense because we're gonna be dripping in sweat in some hot behind dresses outside. So we're gonna be inside, cool little tea party vibes. Yes, cute little fancy hats, gloves galore. Yeah, and it's gonna be like brunch style. So listen to my brunch menu. Oh, the brunch menu gives you in Atlanta or Houston or somewhere.
What's on the menu?
We're gonna have some French toast.
Oh, okay.
Some omelet, some bacon, some sausage, some eggs, some grits, some pancakes. We're gonna have fried salmon, fried lobster tails.
Oh, it's giving southern. Okay.
Very southern. And then we're gonna have some fruit. You gotta have fruit. Now it's a tea party, so we're gonna have tea, but we're also gonna have mimosas, bellinis. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Brunchy drinks. For the music. It's gonna give 90s R&B, but not only 90s. It's mainly 90s, but it's also we're gonna take it back to like 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. You know what I'm saying? But kind of like R&B vibes. And then maybe the last hour we're gonna turn up to end it out. We're gonna turn up with some, hip hop club hits.
Sound like you've been planning this for years, babe. That's what it gives. Okay, so for me, I said everything pastel, like the pastel. Let me get together, blues, the pinks, like the softer colors, like the lighter shades of colors that I like. So everything has to be pastel. I'm more so going like pool, like around the pool, like like a big Airbnb vibes. You go out to the pool. The pool doesn't have a covering, so it's kind of like the covering is the house. If you want to be cool in the AC, you stay inside. If it's like a big old pool park.
Long as I got the option to go back and forth between the two, that's fine with me.
So I'm like, it's giving pool party. You sit around the pool. It's very like dressed down. It's very just kind of chill. That's the kind of vibe I'm going for because summer to me gives, or not summer, spring kind of branches
It's
into
like a
summer.
summer introduction, summer
Right, it's like a
junior,
summer.
because it gets
Right,
hot.
right, right. So I feel like the weather is already hot, like you said. So I feel like you could cool off at the pool. Music for me is given R&B and a little pop. Only because when you're in the pool, I feel like don't
Pop
nobody want to
gives
really.
pool vibes.
Right, right. Pop kind of give the pool. R&B vibe kind of give you're inside, you're chilling, you're hanging out in the house. That's what that gives. Food wise, I said we're gonna be serving like some deviled eggs,
Ooh,
sandwiches.
yeah.
Like meatballs, like you said, mimosas, punches, like that's what it's giving, something to cool you down once you come out of the heat. So that's the route I went. It's giving very much big pool party, kind of chill for spring. So that's what my spring party would give.
That's good
I have
too.
to welcome in spring.
That's good too. We had
Yeah.
opposite vibes going. I like it though. I feel like I would have fun at either location.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you'd had, there's spring to me is like, I don't know, like I understand winter. Winter makes sense because it's cold. Summer makes sense because it's hot. Fall makes sense because the leaves change. And then there's spring. It's like spring just bring pollen and allergies. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like,
Spring is beautiful. It brings out the flowers and
it
everything.
does, but it also
But I
brings
know it
like,
mess up y'all allergies. I know. I
right. So
know.
I'm
People
like,
with allergies hate to see spring coming.
oh my God. And it's
I
like you're
know.
having to, either refrain from being outside so much, you have to overcompensate for your symptoms. You might not want to go outside. Like what I just told you earlier, I got a headache out of nowhere.
Listen, come to my party. We're going to be inside. Ain't no outside.
It's
I
just
don't
the
have allergies,
pollen.
but I don't like the heat. So you
Right. So
ain't
I'm
got
like,
to worry about
everything changes and so does your body, which is crazy, but that's what happens.
that is crazy.
So, speaking of spring, we're going to also tap into Easter just a little bit. Why do you feel like Easter doesn't get as much focus as like Halloween, Christmas, Thanksgiving? Like, why is Easter never really the focus point for most people? Why do you think that?
I think one of the main reasons is capitalism. I feel like businesses make more from Christmas, Halloween. You're buying more things. And Easter, I feel like, is more so for the kids, even though it's for all of us, but like you're only really focused on buying the kids Easter baskets or, Easter things. Adults is like, whatever. We're going to do what we
Right.
do, either go to church or whatever, but we more
Yeah.
so want to make sure our kids look good and they got them a cute little Easter basket. Boom, Easter's done. Christmas and Halloween, more so Christmas, you got to buy all these gifts for everybody, not just the kids.
Right.
So businesses are able to really make more money off of Christmas and stuff. And so they advertise more. It's like thrown in your face a lot more than Easter is. So I think that's number one, is that the world benefits more from those holidays, money
Okay.
wise. World revolves around money, so they benefit more from those holidays. And then another reason, I just feel like you said about it being in the spring, like the other seasons, they all serve their purpose and we love those seasons. And then there's spring. So I just feel like people don't be as amped up for spring as they are when it's winter. Like it's winter, it gives nice cozy vibes. It just puts you in a mood to like want to do something, want to be around family, want to actually celebrate because, especially in the colder states. It's cold, hot chocolate sounds good. Inviting family over and y'all just like, you know what I'm saying? Like getting
Right.
together and doing family things is like, I don't know. And then also the new year is right there. So it's like another reason to celebrate. I don't know. There's just way
Right.
more reasons, I feel like, selfish reasons, but reasons to celebrate Christmas than it is Easter. Easter is, I love Easter, me personally, but I'm just speaking for like the world. Like I just feel like Easter just isn't as celebrated for that reason as well. So those are my two.
Okay, I didn't take that point of view, sis. I'm like, yes, I feel like Christmas is also blown up a lot more because it's like the gifts and the lights and like the festivities. There's a whole lot more
Way
rallying
more.
around that. Halloween is also like, oh, it's the kids are dressed up and like the parents participate. We do the whole thing. But I feel like you said, for Easter, I feel like it's also downplayed a little bit because it's more so like I don't want to say Christian holiday, but it's more so like a godly type of holiday in a sense. And I feel
But
like
so is
everyone.
Christmas.
Right, it is, but people with Christmas take it differently. Like I feel like some people just do Christmas for the fact of gifts. Some do Christmas for the fact of celebrating God. Now
Right.
when it
There's more
comes
to
to
gain from Christmas, whether
right, when
you
it
believe it
comes
or
to
not.
Easter, it's like, okay, that's technically the resurrection, but don't nobody really focus on that. They're like, oh, Christmas is for God. It's like December. So I feel like the teachings behind it maybe is a little bit more spiritually oriented in a sense versus all the other holidays. So I feel like a lot of people don't take to that as much. And like you said, it's really like, okay, there's an Easter bunny. That's cool. He comes around once a year? You pick up eggs, and it's kind of like, okay, that's it. But with the other holidays, it's like with Christmas, there's so much more. There's like light shows, there's performances. The winter it changes from fall to winter. There's more exciting things to do. You decorate the house. Like with Easter, you don't really decorate the house. You don't really do as much. You may attend, a few activities here and there, but it's not as focused on, like you said, it's more so like kids friendly. And a lot of people who don't have kids don't really care for Easter as much because it's like, all right, fast forward to the next holiday. You know what I mean?
Mother's Day. Or they ain't got kids. So
right. It's more so focused on kids, and the meaning behind it is not as powerful, I guess you could say, as the world would view other holidays. That would be my take on it.
Yeah, I don't think America has much to gain from Easter as they do.
Right. Like nobody really decided to go in the store and like, oh, let me buy, X, Y, and Z of baskets. But when it's Christmas, we're going to buy a whole thing. We're going to buy a tree. We're going to, do the gifts. We're going to do multiple things. So financial-wise, that does make sense as well.
Yeah, and we be prepping for Christmas like month in advance, 2 months in advance. Oh, we be on it. Easter, it be creeping up on us. We be like, dang, Easter already this
But
Sunday?
that's
Easter
what I said. I was like, dang, Easter is next week for real. And I'm like,
we don't be checking for it. That's it's so bad, but we don't be checking for it like we do Christmas.
That's true.
Christmas, we be prepping months in advance. We ready. Christmas.
That's true. Yeah. Or like when the year start, everybody fast forward and say, okay, you got to work on your body in the winter for summer. Like we skip, like we go straight from winter to summer. Like that's what I was like. Well, what is the purpose of spring? I get it. It is a change, and the flowers are cute and all, but I feel like people are more sick. Like things just happen. It's more to lose. I feel like when spring come around versus gain. So I feel like some people maybe don't really focus on whole Easter and everything like that. Okay, so what was your Easter tradition growing up, and what was your favorite about it? What part of it was your favorite?
I had the traditional like Christian Easter experience. So picking out an Easter dress every year, that was fun. Going to church, participating in the Easter program at church, dyeing Easter eggs, having Easter egg hunts at the house. Hello. We used to have it at the house. But we would also like go and attend them too. But my favorite was just having it at the house. Right. And then like receiving an Easter basket. That's literally really Easter. And then eating an Easter meal. I would say my favorite of these would be the Easter egg hunts for sure. Those would be my favorite. Especially if I get to find one with money in it, which I didn't. I rarely did. But yeah.
Okay, so for me, I would say the same thing too, sis. When it came to Easter, it was like, for me, I had the Easter Sunday, you had to be in church. Not only just that Sunday, but that was just like a thing to bring in Easter, and then you could do all the festivities after. You had to bring that in for church, and like you said, you go, church shopping, and you get the clothes and everything like that. I agree. That was something I grew up on as well. Also, the egg hunting, you do it around the house or whatever the case is, or you go to like an event that had the eggs, and you would go and, get the eggs. Same thing with the money. You always have some money in the eggs. I'm like, 90% of the time wouldn't get the money either because I just never looked for the golden egg. I saw the other little ones, so I went for those first.
I went for the colorful ones.
Right, the colorful ones. But the gold ones had the money.
I know.
The case was. And they really hit them. They really do be hiding the ones with money for real. You got to pay attention as a kid. So that was also fun. The fact of like, you get it like it's a bunny. They're in the ground. Like, you get it. I like that too. That was my favorite part. Same thing. Painting, eggs as well, and also doing like the parade. I don't know if you guys did the parade.
Oh, I think we did have a parade too.
Right. You go to the Easter parade and you do all that, watch them dance, the floats and all that stuff. So we definitely grew up doing that. The whole thing I would say is a part of like everything for me. The festivities of Easter, like I said, it's not much. So whatever I could get out of it was my favorite. That's how I appreciate it. But as I became an adult is when I understood like, okay, what my favorite seasons were, what my favorite holidays were. Like Easter just isn't really one of them, like I said, because for me, it affects me medically. Like I don't want to be sneezing every day. So if it wasn't for that, I might take more interest in Easter in the spring. But for me, I got a downside.
You've not been able to truly appreciate the resurrection of Christ because of your medical condition. I don't even know if it's a medical condition, but allergies.
Well, whatever. Not everybody have allergies. You don't got no allergies.
I know
know the
not everybody
struggle.
have it.
You don't
It's
know
a
the
whole
half of it.
community of y'all, though. I mean, like, dang, it's a whole community of y'all.
Zyrtec every 30 days. Gotta take you Zyrtec. Once a day for 30 is crazy work, but whatever.
That's something. I could not imagine.
Thank you.
My memory terrible. I would forget for sure. But the allergist will probably remind me.
It's either that you get congested or you get a headache. Like, I get headaches easily because of that. And I'm like, when you go outside too, it's like, because spring and the flowers and stuff, when you go in the stores, they're getting new flowers and, you're doing all that. And it's just like, oh my God, you can't escape it. It's outside.
I was like, oh wow, flowers. Like, I don't be scared of them. They harmless.
You know what? It's okay. Harmless. You don't understand the struggle, but that's cool.
I don't, but I'm sorry. So when you see flowers, you be like scrunching up your face, like.
It's not that when you see it, but like once you get outside, right? Like it's already in the air. So naturally, like your eyes start to water. You might get a headache. Your sinuses start to drip, whatever the case. If you have asthma, it might act up a little bit more. You're more, tendencies harder to breathe. But when you take Zyrtec, it's supposed to clear all that, or Claritin D, or whatever the case is. I don't like Zyrtec because it makes me sleepy. So for me, I just deal with the consequences of outside and not take the Zyrtec. But I'm supposed to take it every day, until like spring has sprung and left. But I don't take it every day.
Crazy.
So for me, it's just like, okay, like I what did I tell you today? I was like, since I got a headache out of nowhere. And I was like, well, what was I doing?
It's the pollen and all of that. Dang.
Right. Plus, I also have a dog. And when dogs and cats and stuff, most time when you have animals, when they go outside.
Oh, when they go outside, it'll cling to their fur.
Naturally brings in pollen in the house. So you constantly have to sweep. You constantly have to keep the house clean or get a humidifier to clear the air, because you have a hard time sleeping and stuff like that. So there's a lot of cons for me around the springtime.
We're just like, you don't like spring. Spring is the enemy.
I mean,
And another thing, I love Easter, but why is it a different day every single year? And I get it. Right. I get that maybe like the time that he resurrected, there wasn't a particular day that they recorded. It was more so the time frame.
Isn't that like New Year's though? Because New Year's fall. Remember, the calendar moves one day ahead every year. So that's just like your birthday. Your birthday isn't gonna fall.
Yeah, but the New Year's always on the first. I don't care about.
Well, okay, the date is always on the first, but
that's what I'm talking about. The actual date.
It does change. I get what you're saying. Easter does change the date.
Christmas is set in stone. That one day.
Right.
We can actually anticipate. We got to check.
They don't have no respect for Easter at all. They have no respect.
We can't prepare. We have to look in advance and be like, when is Easter for this year? Like, that's crazy. Right. That's crazy. Right. So that's another con, but I do love Easter, the meaning behind and everything. Yeah. I grew up knowing it, but I will say growing up, I was more happy to celebrate Christmas. But that's probably because I got more gifts. Selfish reasons, but yeah.
Yep. All right, y'all. We're gonna go ahead and transition into this or that. Speaking of Easter, speaking of spring that has sprung, or that. So pastel or bold floral prints?
Yeah, pastel.
You know what? I like.
You lost me at bold floral.
When I say bold floral, it's almost like wearing like a dress that has, like the floral colors, or like something like very springy. I don't know if I would go that route, depending on the color of it. I wouldn't mind, but I'm more like pastel, like the softer version of the colors. I like that too. I just feel like it's just soft and it just gives Easter. Whenever you see a bunny and they have the eggs, it's always something pink, blue. It's always pastelish. So I just feel like we're so trained mentally to think that way that I always go the pastel way too. But floral, maybe down the road I could do that. But
floral for me be hit or miss. Like, I gotta be in the mood to wear floral. Like, in most cases, I'm not going for floral options. Just because it ain't really me. But yeah.
All right. A beach getaway or a cozy cabin retreat?
A cozy cabin retreat. You know I don't like the beach unless it's going to the island. Then I'm going to say that, a beach getaway at the island. I
mean... I don't no, I like the idea of a cozy cabin retreat. That just sounds like something. That sounds
Sound
different. It sounds
romantic.
very cozy. It sounds like you're inside, away from pollen. But
Girl, you
a
have me
beach.
inside because you don't like the heat, but you're talking about pollen. Okay, so we have two
I
different
don't.
reasons.
No, I really don't like the heat, so I don't really care for the heat. But
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. A beach getaway is nice though. Like I feel like if you're on like a resort style getaway and it's outside, that's also, I guess, pollen because you're around a lot of trees and plants and stuff. But I've never experienced a cabin. I feel like once I experience it, I pay my chicken, but I'm gonna go beach because I feel like that's where my stomping grounds are. I've never experienced a cabin yet, so I'm like, cabin makes sense in the winter. It wouldn't make sense. Well,
But you never said. Oh, you said for springtime.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure wherever your cabin's gonna be, you're gonna probably choose a place that's
But I
enclosed.
feel like cabin just gives winter. Like you go to a cabin in
So
the
why
winter
would you
time.
make that an option?
Well,
I'm
you know
thinking it's
what? You
winter.
know what? Blame Google. They gave me that as an option. Blame Google.
Because I'm like, a cabin ain't really springish unless you're gonna go to like
Get
Colorado,
Google.
somewhere where it's
Blame
always
Google.
cold.
Blame Google. All right.
All right.
So spring cleaning or spring decorating?
If I had to choose, I would say the spring decorating because,
Really?
yeah. If
Girl,
I had to choose. Now, realistically, I'm going to go with spring cleaning. But if I had the option, I was able to actually like decorate for spring, I would say
yeah.
decorating. Yeah.
I would
That's my.
say spring cleaning. Like I said, what are you
You
gonna
love
decorate?
cleaning though, girl. You
Oh
clean
my
every
goodness.
day.
Say that again. I do love to
You
clean.
love cleaning. I don't love it. I just do it because I have to, but I don't love
I do like
it.
cleaning. I don't know if that's I don't know. Like
It's
cleaning for me
therapeutic.
is
No, I get it.
therapeutic.
I
It's
get it. Got your
therapeutic.
music
Like
playing.
right. I got the
Mm-hmm.
music playing, you know, I
Maybe a
got
little wine.
the wine, I got the background feels, I got the R&B. It's like, I don't know,
I
that
get
just says
it.
right. So I'm like, for me, I'll take spring cleaning any day over decorating. Like it's cool to put, you know, a few pastel colors up and a few things. That's cute.
Little bunny here, bunny. I'm just kidding.
That's
I'll be
okay. But
there.
I feel like spring cleaning because usually spring is really known for you resetting.
Yeah.
So like
I
spring's
feel
like
like
a
you're supposed to do
reset.
the cleaning anyway, so the decorating is optional. You
Right.
ain't gotta
But
do
I
it.
feel like because you're resetting in the spring and you're prepping for like I guess the rest of the year. I guess if you never reset at the start of the year, this is like another reset throughout the year. So I feel
Mm-hmm.
like if you're gonna do a spring cleaning like that makes sense. It's almost like you're getting rid of like the old things maybe you can't do
Right.
with the new year and you're kind of resetting for the rest of the year. So it's really like a renewal, which is where the whole resurrection Easter kind of comes in the meaning behind that you're restarting something, you're starting something new. So I would rather the cleaning to kind of like get rid of the old, bring in the new. That would
Mm-hmm.
be my take on that. I would say.
Okay. I'm with it.
So, colorful nails or neutral tones for spring.
I'm probably gonna say colorful.
Okay, so colorful would mean like pastel colors, and then neutral
Yeah.
may be like a solid pink. That's a neutral tone of pink, or like a blue, a neutral tone of blue. If you want to do it like that, versus
Well, I
saying
mean, it
nude
could
like
still
brown.
be a soft pink and be pastel.
No, I know that, but I'm giving you the differences. Like when you say nude, most people automatically go to brown. So I'm saying in this case, when we say colorful, will be like doing the pastel colors where you could do like a blue or pink or a purple,
Purple,
whatever the
yellow,
right. And
orange.
then the neutral colors in this sense would be like a solid color pink, a solid color blue. So that's how I'm looking at it.
I do not think of blue as a neutral color, but
Well, whatever. You example.
I'm still gonna go pastel.
Okay, so colorful. All right.
Colorful, yeah.
I would say that too. Like a
Mm-hmm.
colorful, I wouldn't mind that.
Fall, I'm gonna bring out the nudes. That's
Yes,
fall. I
yes.
got you in fall. That's when I'm
Nudes,
bring out
the
the nudes.
browns, the burnt
The
oranges,
cream,
the
yeah, all of
creams.
that.
Yep, that's spring's more fall, and then
Yeah,
the pastel colors is more like spring.
yeah.
All right,
I don't
pick.
do colorful often, so I feel like spring is when I can maybe shine a little more with the colors. Cause I don't do colorful. I used to, but then I kind
Yeah,
of got more. I don't know. I don't want to say more mature, but I started like liking more of the nudes.
I do the I do like the multiple nail color for Easter
Ombre.
because I feel like it's just like
Oh, different
festive.
color every
Right. I
year.
don't know if I'm gonna do it this year. I'm gonna see how I feel, but I usually do it. You know, it's like festive and fun to do. But any other time, it's like I don't really do that much. It's just to participate in like the whole pastel color thing. Yeah, that. But outside of that, the last question for the night: picnic in the park or walk on a nature trail? Mind you, it's still spring. It is still spring. Picnic in the park or walk on a nature trail?
I guess I'll walk on the nature. No, picnic, because I like to eat. So I guess I'll just do the picnic. Big bag, that's me.
Well, you don't need Lainey here to tell you. So. The fact that you recognize, listen, I
I
would
gotta
say
be honest. What is the walk on the trail gonna do for me? I guess the walking is gonna unbig my back, but
I don't know, so I'm gonna do picnic in the park too. The nature trail is cool, but that is still pine, that's
we
still
can eat
pollen.
together.
That's still stuff I could do without. So I feel like if I could do a picnic in the park, I could pick a specific area that maybe has less flowers, less trees, like it's out in the open. I'm gonna keep going back to these allergies because babe, they just need to go.
What you say? They be beating you up.
So for me, I'm like, I would choose the picnic because it's more of a controlled environment for me versus a nature trail. Nature trail just seems like nature trail is peaceful, and I've done a nature trail before, but I don't think I've done it around the springtime because the smell of pine, I don't know what it is. Like whenever the spring comes in, the pine trees, they have a smell. They smell piney.
They do. But
Whatever.
I like it. You don't like the scent of pine trees?
No, that's just like people that like the smell of gas. I cannot stand the smell of gas.
Oh, I used to love the smell
I
of gas.
cannot
Not no
stand the smell. It
more.
gives me a headache.
Yeah,
I
as
don't
a
get
kid, I
it.
used to like it.
There's people that like open the door and they like smell. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm smelling gas.
Smelling the gas.
What? That's weird.
I can't judge. I used to think something was wrong
but
with
it's just
me.
not for me. I don't like that. Yeah, so I feel like whenever things change outside, like everything just has a scent outside, and outside smells like outside. So when you go outside and come in, you smell like outside. So
yeah,
you smell polleny. I guess that's a thing.
girl, give it a rest.
Mm. But anyways, y'all, that is it for tonight. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Just a little bit of spring fun. A little spring has sprung. What they say? April showers may bring flowers.
May
Something like
bring
that.
flowers. Yeah, April shower. It hasn't rained too heavy so far in April, but I ain't gonna, speak too soon.
Let's hold off on that till we're at the end.
But it be raining crazy in June too, though. Like the summertime.
June through November is hurricane season. That's why.
So that's why it rains a lot. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'm not ready for that. Oh.
May bring June of. Yeah, I think they said they had like 17. My mom was telling me they had 17 that they were tracking. I said 17.
Oh no, keep that over there. I don't even want to think about it right now. I do not think about it right now. That's a stressful time.
We're gonna enjoy the spring that we can. I'm gonna be inside.
At least spring is good for something. No hurricanes during the springtime. That's what it's good for.
Okay, I'll take that. I'll take that.
Besides June, because June is spring and also hurricane season.
Well, that's the end of spring though, right? I think
spring that's towards the end. June.
Yeah, and then that's starting to be summer. So we really don't get hurricanes. I feel like till like October, November, September.
Yeah, that's like the peak during that time. October.
Mm-hmm. But all right, y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. We appreciate y'all for always doing so. Don't forget to like this live if you're in here. If not, go ahead and follow our Live and Unfiltered podcast page on Instagram. The full video will be on YouTube later this week, and the clips will be over there as well. And on next week, we'll be on Kia's page. Am I missing anything?
You are not.
All right. Have a good night, y'all. Bye.
Good night. Bye.